Anthony from Learning to Play the Guitar. In this video, I'm going to show you how to play the song Power and the Passion by Midnight Oil. With the Power and the Passion by Midnight Oil, the very first thing we hear is the riff based around these power chords, which are B, C sharp on 4, D on 5. So I have this down-picked thing doing that. Then we're going to repeat that, but before we repeat that, we're going to hit a 0 to open A power chord, then back to that little idea. Next part, we've got the 0 and the 2 again. A leading into a C sharp 4. 3 hits of this chord. Jump into an F sharp on fret 2 on the other strings. Then we've got that open A2 again. Back to the B on fret 2. And then we repeat that. So I'll do it again just a bit quicker. Following on from that into the verse, there's sort of like a reggae sort of funk sort of guitar thing playing on the beats 2 and 4 of the bar. First chord we hit is a 777 B minor with just one finger, and it's staccato here, so the chords are very short. So I pluck the chord, then I lift the pressure off to mute it, so it doesn't ring out like that, but it's a release the pressure thing. Second chord is a D related thing coming from a D bar chord, but just 10, 10, 11 on the bottom 3 strings, and that same little short sound as well. So we have the 7 for the B minor thing, little D thing on the 10 and the 11. Backwards and forwards 2 times. Next little chord is an F sharp chord coming from the F sharp bar chord, but the bottom chunk of it, so in tab 9 and 2 11s, and there's 2 hits of this like that, and then we go back to the 777 B and the D on fret 10. So the whole thing might be and this part also happens in the intro on top of the main power chord riff as well. So there's 2 guitars in Midnight Oil, so some of these parts will overlap, of course, as we go along. Coming into what I'm going to call the pre-chorus, there are 2 big chords. One's a D, or really a D5, like a mega power chord, where I've got 0, 0, 2, 3, and big, and then E. Takes us into the next little riff, which is a variation of the main riff from the start. Here we've got E power chord, F sharp power chord, and a G power chord. Again, just 2 finger power chords here, but this one has a little 16th pickup thing happening where we're going to go, so down, up, down, down, boom, boom, if I do it that way, sorry. And again. There's a little subtle slide thing on the G, but it's a fairly short slide that must be cut off fairly quickly. So there's 2 of them. The next variation of that is an F sharp power chord to a B power chord on string down, both on fret 2. And again we have this little down up quick pickup on the F sharp in this case. Again. Then we're going into the chorus, which are based around these chords. E flat minor as a bar chord. This interesting, it's sort of an E flat minor 7 sharp 5. But we have sort of a conflicting 5th on the bottom as well. But anyway, it's this shape in the tab there. You can see what that is in the chord diagram too. E flat 7 sus 2, which is like the flat minor 7 with a finger missing maybe. Then it goes E flat minor again, D flat major, back to E flat minor again. And then continuing through, does E flat minor again, that sharp 5 little thing with your little finger there on fret 9, E flat 7 sus 2, 2 fingers. Then final bit E flat minor, D flat major, and that will take you back to the verse or back to the riff on the first instance. When the riff reappears after the first chorus, it's very similar to the intro, but there's a couple of extra little things added to it. So I'll sort of run through what those variations are. We have, so it hits the D twice at fret 5, and then back to fret 4 C sharp. So it sort of goes up and then down, backward. And this happens twice. On the second one there, you notice I just stayed on the 5D, because then it will jump to the C sharp, F sharp part of the riff, again with some extra hits. F sharp now. And little cutting off, so these little offbeat power chords in between the main riff, which is what's happening here. So then we're back to the B, C sharp, D thing again, and round it goes. So I'll do that little package, and it basically repeats twice. And that takes you back on the verse, which is basically the same as the first one. This actual little riff I played reappears in the second verse under the vocals as well at some point. After the second chorus, instead of going to that riff, it just goes to the B power chord. This is the chord you hear just before the drum solo. In the drum solo there's some bass, a lot of crazy percussion going on, but there's no guitar. The coda, or the ending part of the song where all the horns jump in, is basically based around 3 chords, which are a B5 power chord, A5 power chord, can be played there or at fret 5, which is quite fine, and then a G power chord. And it goes round and around. The initial time you hear that, the chords just ring out for the 2 bars each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just doing that. Later on they sort of jam out a bit more, and you can do lots of variations. 2 basic ideas you can do just to fill it up and rock out is basically just play eighth notes. You can either down strum punk style, or you can down up strumming if your hand's going to fall off. And they vary and mix around with that a bit when you see them play it live. The very, very end of the song, after the repetition of the B, A, G chords round and round in circles with the horn melody on top, we'll go to a C. Just playing this as a C5 power chord. D, I'll use that big mega D power chord from the middle of the song. Then A power chord again. And the final chord of the song is a B on fret 2 B power chord. There. So that's all the main parts of the tune. So in the first verse, there's a little melody guitar based around the riff. Instead of playing it as the power chord shapes, though, we're going to play it as a single note melody on the G string, starting at fret 4. So 4, 4, 6, 7. A little offbeat thing, which also reappears later on in a riff variation after the chorus. So there's 2 of these. And then now we're going to go 6, 6, 6, 3, 3, 3, and the final bit here is 4, 4, 6, 7. A little slide on the end. In the pre-chorus, on top of the riff, there's another guitar just doing, again, a really simple but effective part, which is really iconic in this tune, which is just an E note, but there's a fret 5 E and an E string at the same time, and that's sort of on top of the part of the riff. So it's on beats 2 end of the bar, and just repeats for that entire section. So we might 3, 4, 1. And there's a little slide there. It's sort of subtle. You can slide it or even just hold the note and chop it short. So again, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1. So any sort of variation of that I think is fine. So that's all the parts to this Oz rock classic from the mighty Midnight Oil. Subscribe to the Learning to Play the Guitar YouTube channel for more lessons. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications when I upload a new video. You can also check out my books and more lessons at my website learningtoplaytheguitar.net. Thanks for watching and keep practicing.